good to see all of you this morning. Good looking boy. You know what? I'm going to tell you a little story. I was outside the other day, and I was walking around, and I got thinking, you know what? It might be good if I had a little something in my hand in case I run up on those snakes. So, you did? In the pool? I got out of the pool. Oh, okay.
I went to for Bubba and my daddy.
Really?
It was a little snake about that big.
Okay. Well, anyway, you know what I picked up? Stick. Just found me a stick. Just found me a stick. And I said, well, if I see a snake, I can hit him in the head with this stick. Okay? Now, I didn't see a snake yesterday. Well, I did see one, but somebody else got it. Okay? And I was kind of glad because it was big and it was ugly. And, you know. But anyway, so I got this stick. Now, this stick, you stop and think about it. How hard is it to find a stick?
Not that hard. It's not that hard.
It's not that hard. Sticks are everywhere, right? Sticks are, you can get more than a dozen of them for a dime, right? You can get more than a dozen of them for free. All you got to do is go out in the edge of the yard, right? Go out in the woods, you can find you a stick. Stick's pretty insignificant, isn't it? Don't really mean a whole lot, does it? Let me ask you this. If I had run up on a snake, how important would that stick have been?
Very important.
Very important. That's right. And so, see, there's a lot of times that God might give us things that we don't think are very important. But if we use them like God wants us to use them, then they become very important, don't they? Now, there's a story in the Bible. I'm going to be preaching about that this morning, okay? I'm actually giving y'all a quick little portion of my sermon. So, parents, listen up. So, there's a story in the Bible in John chapter 6 where Jesus had gone outside of town and he was tired and he really wanted to rest, but he looked up and there was a bunch of people coming because they wanted to hear what he had to say. And so it was about lunchtime. And Jesus said, we don't have any food, do we? How are we going to feed all of these people? Now, it said there were about 5,000 people there. They'd have to cook food, wouldn't they? But guess what? They didn't have any food to cook. So these people are getting hungry. And so Jesus started talking to his disciples. And he said, where are we going to get food for them? Now, Jesus knew where, okay? But he was testing his disciples, right? Now, as we read the story, we find out that Jesus...
Hey, you get food from Walmart.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. That's exactly right. But listen, guess what? There was a little boy there. There was a little boy there in that crowd. He wasn't a big boy. He wasn't a man. He wasn't grown. He was just a little boy there that had come to listen to Jesus. And guess what his mama had done for him? She packed him a little lunch. And you know what that lunch was made up of? He had 5 little old biscuits and 2 little old fish. And that's all he had. Now, that probably would have been enough to feed him. But do you think that would have been enough to feed 5,000 people? No. But guess what? Let me tell you something. It doesn't matter how little we have. When we give it to God, he makes it big. Okay? Even though we don't have much, when we bring it to God, he makes it a lot. And you know what happened? When that little boy went to Jesus and he showed Jesus what he had, his little old 5 biscuits and 2 fish, Jesus said a blessing over it and started tearing it apart and said start passing it out. And you know what? All 5,000 people ate until they were full. And when they got through eating, Jesus said, take up the leftovers. And they took up 12 big baskets full of leftovers out of just 5 little old biscuits and 2 little old fish. You see, when we bring what we have to Jesus and give it to him, he does something really big with it. And that's what we need to keep in mind, okay? Who wants to say our prayer? You want me to say it? Okay. Father, thank you today that you love us and that, Lord, you're willing to take what little we have and make something really big out of it. Father, I pray that you would bless these young people, these children. Lord, it was a child that came to you with a very small lunch. Lord, his willingness to give that to you made it possible for all of those people to be fed. Father, thank you for using us. It doesn't matter how old we are, how young we are, how small we are, how big we are, God, you can use us if we'll just come to you. And we thank you for that, Father. Bless us now, for it's in your name we pray. Amen.